Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Advanced, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover things from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. I'm going to give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And folks, we got a hilarious show for you guys here today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. Make sure y'all follow me on there. Anyway, let's get into this topic right here. We were actually done doing shows for the day. I was done, and I was just actually here relaxing. And then a video that I had already seen was recommended to me again, right? I was watching, so I forgot what I was watching. And then the video popped up again. I'm like, well, I might as well watch it because I'm a little bit bored anyway. And it's a video from FS1's Fox Sports Radio with the title, Rob Parker asks if people can get sick of athletes that stay too long like LeBron James. Now, initially when I saw the title, I wasn't really drawn into it. But now that I had nothing to do, I'm like, well, I might as well watch this video to see what the hell is Rob and these guys talking about. So I click on the video. Now, Rob's normal debate partner, Kelvin, he was, I guess, away on vacation or whatever it is. So Rob was up there with Martin Weiss, right? Martin Weiss, which I'm assuming is another sports commentator. So they're up there. They're talking about Aaron Rodgers. They're talking about this. They're talking about that. And then they get into this thing about, is LeBron staying too long? And Rob is like, well, the longer he plays, he's hurting his GOAT case, all of that stuff, right? Then the conversation takes a turn. And then they start talking about what's LeBron's value. And then they start getting into his stats. And then Rob brings up a point that I had absolutely forgotten, because a lot of LeBron guys, especially with this thing about him trying to put pressure on the Lakers to make a move, they point to, well, he made all-second NBA team. Even that guy on Gil's Arena, he brought it up yesterday. He made, not yesterday, he usually brings it up all-second. I don't even know why this dude's bringing it up. Like, bro, they lost. I don't know why he keep bringing this up. But he was like, yeah, they bring an all-second team in there. And then Rob is like, no, these numbers are deceptive. He's one of the worst defensive players, and he starts breaking it down, and it gets into this like heated back and forth. And I'm like, damn, Rob making some good points right now. So what we want to do is want to play this exchange for you guys quickly. I want you guys to listen to it in its entirety, and I'm going to come back and really get into the show. Take a listen to what Rob had to say here.
It's about how you act, and it's how you interact with the media. It's about how you interact with your teammates. It's about how you interact with everybody else. Another Tim Duncan. I'm not exactly sure how long his career was, but when it was time for him to go and he retired, nobody that year was like, man, if we don't, Tim Duncan's just got to get out of the league. That wasn't the case. But like the idea that LeBron right now is being disingenuous. Like you locked in for this 51.3 or whatever $0.6 million option, and now are playing basically the same playbook. It feels, at least, it could be the same playbook that we've seen several times throughout his career. And at a certain point in time, there's an annoyance of, dude, sometimes only the top of the guys at the top can do this. And not to say LeBron is no longer necessarily at the top, but you also have to understand the market around you. Where if you're the Lakers, you're 100% about to build around Luka Doncic, who you just traded for. Like,
guy's only 25 years old, right?
You had the Anthony Davis, LeBron era. You traded away one of those pieces. And just even if it wasn't Luka, if it wasn't five-time All-NBA, if it wasn't a finals appearance before 26 years old, if it wasn't that, you broke up the pairing that you built to win championships to bring in somebody else. Generally, you're going to build around the new piece, unless you're just tanking to try to get a new draft pick.
Yeah, I think LeBron also hurts himself the longer he plays and doesn't win. I do, because you start to look at the years piling up, and you still have the 4 championships, and you start looking around, and you say, well, Steph has that. Like, it's not special. Like, if he plays 24 or 25 years, right? I don't know. Could he play 2 more years? What do you got? 20?
Yeah, but that still doesn't take away, to me, the way he was able to play at his prime.
Yeah, but it's not the same prime. And I'm going to say this, because people talk about his numbers. Look at his plus minus. He was like one of the worst players. So I get it. It's easier to score in the NBA than ever before. So when you look at his numbers, they're inflated. They're not like real numbers to me, because everybody can score. You can't play defense against people. You can't touch people. So LeBron is able to score. I don't have that issue. But if you're looking at plus minus and what he does on the last year, he was like one of the worst players in the league. Even in the playoffs, I think he was minus 53 when he was on the court. So what is his real impact not just looking at raw numbers. You think he's the same player as he was 10 years ago?
No, but that's not what I said. I said what's happening right now doesn't invalidate 10 years ago.
I'm
when
not
LeBron
invalidating
had the Eastern
anything.
Conference on lock.
Well, he had no other. Everybody else was on his team. Who was in the way?
He was in the Eastern Conference Finals for a decade. Like, he had the Eastern Conference on lock. That doesn't change. What's happening right now doesn't change that, to me, at least. It doesn't invalidate that, to me.
I didn't say I invalidate anything. I'm just saying I don't think he's the same player.
He's 40 years old. That's not expecting him to be the same player.
I know, but people look at the numbers and they keep saying 25 and 8, you know, like Kelvin and I argue all the time. Kelvin doesn't look at anything else other than those numbers. And he says, oh, well, LeBron is I think he said, one of the top 10 players in the league. I don't think he is.
Well, he's definitely not one of the worst players in the league, was what you said. He's probably not one of the top 7 players in the league. I could hear an argument for 10. But the idea where he's like one of the worst players, I can't get with that. The issue is now, it's the $51 million. If LeBron was playing for $14 million, the mid-level exception, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
So you heard what Rob said. He started talking about plus minus and how these numbers, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like, people are making too big of a deal of the stats that we look at today. The numbers are all inflated and they're very, very deceptive. So LeBron fans running around here quoting over 24. I think one other year he put up some better numbers than he was in his prime, and they're making. I'm like, are you saying that the season that he had prior to this means that he's better than his prime LeBron? I'm like, you guys are insane. How do you know? It's because we watch basketball as well. We also watch it and we can see. So Rob brings up this point, right? And he talks about plus minus. So LeBron James for the season, his plus minus was negative 0.8. That's for 70 games. His plus minus was negative 0.8. Negative 0.8. And the guy that LeBron fans are trying to get mad at, and Luka, Luka did this, Luka, we hate Luka. Luka's plus minus was 6.3 and 6.9. His total plus minus was 6.9 for the season. That combines the two teams. 6.9. Now, let's go to the numbers that Rob was talking about, which is the playoff numbers. Now, bear in mind that the Lakers lost in the first round. They only won, They only won one game. So the numbers are going to be a little bit skewed. Luka Doncic's plus minus in the playoffs for the Lakers is negative 4.8. Negative 4.8. LeBron's plus minus, let me give you his numbers. 25 points per game on 49% shooting, 35.7% shooting from the field, 7% free throw percent, 9 rebounds, 5.6 assists. His plus minus was negative 8.4. So if Luka was bad, he was twice as worse. If Luka was bad, he was twice as worse. And you're telling me you expect the Lakers to do what exactly? To double down on this? To double down on this? A lot of LeBron fans are viewing this thing from an emotional standpoint. They're not reasoning this thing properly. They're not. They're just, the only thing they're holding on to is, oh, he made an all-second team. Who cares, bro? That all-NBA second team, and first of all, I don't even think he should have made that all-second team. If I'm being totally frank, I don't think he should have made it. I'm stunned that he made the all-second team. But anyway, look at the numbers. Look at the impact. That's what Rob is talking about, the impact. So he was their worst best player in the playoffs. He was their worst best player. Looking at traditionally, I mean, that's why when I sit back and I listen to these LeBron fans trying to talk, I'm like, y'all need to sit down. Even in the playoffs, Luka averaged 30 points on 45% shooting, 35 from the three, 89% from the free throw line, getting 7 rebounds, 5.8 assists. He did have 4 turnovers a game. He had 1 steal per game and almost 1 block per game. But he was their best scorer. It was clear. It was clear. So Rob is now talking about the effect of these stats that people are talking about. So the stats that everybody is talking about is 20. He had a negative plus minus on the year. And I forgot the stats about the total plus, negative, plus, minus, and from playoff to playoff game. It was insane. It was insane. So these are my thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. And we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.